Welcome back to Toronto. Welcome back to the Seagram's VO Select Studios here at the Royal York Hotel. Rhett and I had we had lunch together today.
Oh.
I had a Caesar salad, and Rhett had what'd you have?
A Royale with
Royale
cheese.
with cheese.
No way.
$900.
Well, inflation, yeah.
You know, it's
tough. Yeah.
well worth it. It was good though, right?
Yeah, it was good till you didn't reach for your wallet.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Well, you know.
Well, inflation, like Monahan for a first,
where's
now
my,
$900 burgers.
Where did I put my thing? Let's get to it. We are here covering, we're here, of course, the All-Star game. They had the draft skills tonight, game coming up tomorrow. But this guy stole all the headlines.
Totally.
Gary Bettman is so sour with this guy.
Oh.
He's like, I'm trying to sell the game and get everybody excited about this tournament we got going. And Craig Conroy does this blockbuster. And you are all anybody's talking about. Welcome into the show, Flames GM Craig Conroy. Hi, Craig.
Hi, guys. Thanks for having me.
So how are you feeling? A couple days removed. Any seller's remorse? Are you sleeping well at night? That's obviously the biggest trade you've ever made in the National Hockey League.
Yeah, no, it was, I knew where everything stood with Lindy probably early on in contract negotiations in September going into October. And then, so I knew at some point this was going to happen, so I knew I just tried to get the best deal I could. And when, that was the question for me, was it the deadline, right at the deadline? I had, I guess as a GM, my first being the GM this year, it's a little nerve-wracking game in and game out with injuries, and you don't know what's going to happen. So to kind of be able to do it now, he's healthy, everything's good, and it's a little tough that it's Vancouver. But again, I always said I'm just going to try to make the best deal possible. So and Vancouver was the best deal.
Was it tough because you say you knew basically from the start of the season that this is probably the end result, that he's going to be gone? You have to fight the emotions. You can't let it be a personal thing. I know that you love Lindholm. This is a hard deal for you to do on a personal level, but it becomes, you have to take that emotion out of it.
Yeah, Bob Hartley used to say, Craig, you fall in love with your players, which I do. And Lindholm, he might have been my favorite player. So It was one where I appreciate everything he does. Being a center, the face-offs, the penalty kill, all that. But again, I knew it was weighing on Lindy too. I mean, it's not the year that he's wanted to have. But again, I had a price that I could go to on a contract that I thought was fair. And he had a price in his mind. So, that's the business. It's the way we go about it. And, even though you want the player, I just can't do – there is a salary cap. I have to do what's best for the team. And I thought this was the best thing for the team.
You would mention, I know that, and people have been talking, there's other teams, and I know you're not going to necessarily get into it, but it feels like from a distance, this had to be far and away the biggest package. Maybe there's other players, but was it very hard getting down to the point where you knew it was going to be Vancouver?
I think I kind of looked at other trades last year, even over the summer, and just, the Bo Horvat, kind of Ryan O'Reilly, things that kind of went out, especially being your first time. I put actually Chris Snow had a list of what the return should look like. When we thought it could be we want a first round pick. We wanted a prospect, and a player was kind of what we thought. So, to be able to get a couple picks, couple prospects, and a player that, we think he scored 39 goals. I know it hasn't worked out there. Different coach. Those things, Rhett, those things happen. Some coaches like you, some coaches, it's not quite the same fit. So, one of the things is we got to get him in here, kind of like Sharon Govich, and give him a great opportunity. The one thing, our power play has not been very good, and he's a right shot power play guy. So we got to put him into a position. Savvy was just up here. We were just talking a minute ago. We got to get him in a position where he feels comfortable. And the one thing it was funny because he doesn't speak English like, hey, a lot better than I speak Russian, so I'll never say so. It was a little bit, but I think he likes the power play and he likes to score, So, I think that was a selling point for him when we spoke to him. He liked what he heard from Ryan, and, he just wants to play. That's the one thing. He says he's a hockey player, and he's excited to come to Calgary, and he wants to be a part of this. So, he didn't have to waive. So for him to waive was another win for us.
Connie, it seems like since your pal Jerome left, there's been this continual, like, everlasting need for a right shot winger. There've been so few. Now, he's played the left. He's listed in your press release as the left side guy with the right shot. How do you see him fitting in this lineup? And what do you do at center ice now, where you're missing some big minutes from Lindholm? This is maybe a Huska question, but how do you sort of look at this?
I wanted to go down and see Husk today because that is let's be honest, it's a 20-minute center that plays in every position. So, I'm going to expect a lot from Backlund, Kadri. A guy like Cole Schwint, who didn't get to play much when he was up, is going to get an opportunity. Some other people are going to get opportunity here, depending upon, I'm going to go see Ryan and kind of see who we're going to call back up after the break and get moving forward. But it's an opportunity. We've always said we want to give young guys an opportunity. Now, here's your chance. It's those are big shoes to fill, though. But I think it's going to be Kadri and Backlund mostly to fill most of it, and then the other guys are going to have to fill in, after that.
Would you be okay trying a center out at center ice in Connor's area, who's had such a phenomenal campaign, or is that almost cruel to a guy halfway through his first year to move him to the middle?
It's funny, Pospisil and Zari both believe they're centers here moving forward. They want to be centers. But, again, young guys that have to work, I guess we could try it. I guess it depends when. Like right now, I don't see it happening tomorrow. But at some point, we might as well take a peek at it. But that's going to be up to Ryan. I'm giving him the players. I didn't give him the perfect puzzle pieces. But there's always things, there's – for me, you have the draft capital, you're looking around, but again, if I can find a deal that gives me a, 24 or younger center that we feel has some upside and growth, maybe there's that's something we would look at moving forward.
So now you move on to other pieces of business. Chris Tanev's not an all-star, but is he going back to Calgary after the all-star break, or is he like Lindholm? He's going somewhere else. It's a good time to get some business done, right? Everybody's all in their vacation spot. I'll just fly to the next spot. How's the Tanev thing going?
Already packed a bag.
Yeah.
That's what I said. Every guy's different. I think with Lindholm, I knew he wasn't coming back, so that was, I knew that was one I was going to have to move forward with. And, I respect Lindy the way he handled himself the whole year here and, carried himself. But, each one's different. I think for me, both guys will be going, if you're going to want to talk about Hanifin and Tanev, they're both going to be in Boston with us and in the lineup.
You've got two of D that are expiring there. That's could be a significant portion of the D market. Do you feel like there's a great onus to make sure you set the D market at a good spot if you're to make a trade, or is every deal just go do what I can do for the Flames?
Well, again, you're always trying to do the best deal you can for the team. So, obviously very good players, just like Lindholm. There was lots of interest in Lindholm. That was the one thing. I know everybody wants to know an exact number, but there was a lot of teams. So it's a lot of work when you're going back and forth trying to figure out, you got everything written on the board. You're bringing everybody in. What's the best deal for us? And, I think that's where you kind of was looking for three pieces. And then, to be able to get five. And again, right now, the top guy in the trade was Lindholm. He went to Vancouver. We haven't made the picks yet. We don't know who those players are. We know the two prospects and we know the player coming back. So, time will tell. Everybody wants a winner or loser out there. But, I think it's just like with the Sharangovich trade. Maybe everybody thought we lost early, but now it feels like a fair deal. They got a good player. We got a good player. Ours is a little bit younger. We have him under contract for one more year. And that's kind of the way I'm trying to, we want to do this thing on the fly. This is one of the pieces. So those are two great players, and I think there'll be tons of interest, but you're also working with the player and you want to see where they're at and what they want to do moving forward.
You had Zary come in, and obviously he performed really well. You have Pospisil come in. He plays well. You've seen some other guys come in and out of the lineup, and you've seen some glimpses. I expect that it'll be the same when Pelche gets back. You saw him last year. Did their ascension to the NHL and they're fitting right in, showing that they can play, did it make it easier to make a deal like this? You still probably have to do it anyway, but I just wonder if Zary comes in and you don't see that flash, and if Pospisil plays a game or two and then he goes back down, you don't have as much maybe faith in the youth movement that you do. How much harder is this deal to make, knowing that you're deleting and you're not sure what you have in the cupboard?
Absolutely, for sure. I mean, let's be honest. When we brought Zary and Pospisil, they really turned things around for us here, which was nice. I think it got the Kadri line going. Backlund's line was going good. Lindy's line was in and out at times, but they'd have games. But we started to turn things around, and it looked, for a while there, I think we were 2-8 or 2-9. It wasn't great, but to bring those guys up, and all of a sudden see that spark. But I thought it brought a lot of life to the locker room too, just to have those young guys and to have Matt Coronado come up and, to have, we've seen lots of players now. And that's one thing I always wanted to do is say, well, all the years I've been here, can we call guys up and see what they are? I think we hadn't done it. So that was kind of in my mind. I wanted to do this moving forward, and we're getting to see, can they play or can't they play? I mean, unless we saw those two guys come up, your guess would be as good as mine. They're good American League players, but can they do it in the NHL? And they've proven they belong here.
Tell us about Brustevich a little bit. I know you've been asked a lot about him in the last couple of days, and you look at the numbers and they're gaudy. It's impressive to just look at the numbers. We talked about it, I guess, on the show yesterday. There was a shoulder injury, and then he comes back, and he's got to get back to a level that he was used to playing at. It seems like he's a very dynamic player. Is he a project? Is he a dynamo? How would you kind of describe? Because I know you would have seen him plenty last year when you were out scouting in that.
Well, yeah. I mean, last year when we watched him, you'd see the vision, the playmaking. That's all there. He defends. He wouldn't defend like Rhett. Like, he defends more with his head and his stick, and he tries to close the gaps and stay close to guys. He's not Chris Tanev either. He's not going to be blocking every shot, but he's got a great first pass. He sees the whole ice well. He's got skill set on the power play as a right shot guy that we didn't have in the organization. So, you're trying to add those pieces in the organization. So, I think if we were critiquing what he'd like to work on, we want him to be, skating is always a thing, but, sometimes those smarter players, they just get there with their brain. But definitely skating is something we're going to work on. But the one nice thing is Hendricks worked with Kitchener. He's in the gym. He's putting the time in. He wants to get better. And we believe skating is one thing we can help if the player wants to put the work in. It's not easy to get better skating because it's not fun to do. But not that he's a bad skater, but if he could improve that, transporting the puck, it would make him, it would even take another little piece and add to his game, which, he's got a lot of things that we really like. And I mean, obviously the numbers are really, really impressive, but we've seen good junior players and we just really like the players. So we're excited to have him, and it's something we didn't have in the organization.
You see that sometimes, right? When it's a junior player who can get by because of either their skill or their smarts or whatever. They don't need to work on the other little things in their game. And then you get to the next level and I guess I'm going to have to put some work in there. And probably for a guy like that, like you say, his brain has allowed him to get himself out of jams. I don't need to skate myself out of trouble because I can make a play here. You mentioned he's not like Rhett. How would you describe Rhett if you were to, what kind of a defender?
Hard-nosed, physical defender, willing to lay his body on the line at all times.
Yeah.
Voracious.
And could chip in a couple top shelf goals. I saw him live. He scored a few goals, but that wasn't what made Red effective. Penalty kill, hard to play against, great teammate, stick up for his teammates. It's I don't think there's not fighting now, but Rhett didn't fight a lot, but you knew Rhett always had your back. But I don't think, not that I'm saying Hunter doesn't, but Rhett was, hard-nosed, physical.
There was a point in one season where I had more goals than Jerome McGinley, and I let him know about it. So,
Game one?
I remember.
What's going on?
Can you do what you did on the flight and your top shelf?
I can't.
You can roll right there. He was rolling down the center of the plane, and then he'd jump up, and you could show him your top shelf celebration.
Yeah, we got video now. We're on YouTube. We can show everybody after all the years of just telling them these
Go
stories.
viral.
Could absolutely do that.
Not as limber as I used to be.
Yeah. I remember we were talking, Craig, when you first got the job, and one of the things you were talking about was there's positional need, obviously defense and whatnot, but it was just an overriding need for more skill in the cupboard. And it seems like you're addressing that. Kuzmenko, Brestevich, we've seen Coronado come in. Zari, I think we kind of even forgot about him. There's skill there. We're seeing more out of Pospisil, it feels like. And then you throw Morin and Poirier, some other guys in. And Hanzik, I know you're real high on, and others. But it does feel like in a short amount of time, that's turned a little bit. Do you feel like, not that you're satisfied, but are you happy with the level of skill that you have on board now?
Well, you just watch the games. I mean, it's so hard to score, but if you don't have that high-end skill, it's hard to win. I mean, because it isn't the hooking and clutching and grabbing. It's more freewheeling, making plays. And you see those high-end players, what they do. And I think if you can continue to add those, and you still need, we're always talking about the culture in the room and what we want a Calgary Flame to be. And it starts with Backlund. He's been doing a great job. And Coleman's in there. And you just have the whole group with Huberdeau, Kadri, Uyghur, Hannafin. You look at the guys, we want to bring in players, and again, want to be a Calgary Flame and want to be a part of this, but we want to bring in guys that are going to buy in. Everyone talks about Boston. They buy in. That's what we're trying to create here. And if you don't fit into that, we're going to, try to move them along and bring in people that do fit that culture.
I think about your start, 2-7-1. You have the not my favorite costumes the fellas picked there for the outdoor game against Edmonton. You lose a Battle of Alberta outside, huge crowd, national TV game. Where were the conversations with you and Ryan Huska? Because that is not how he would have whiteboarded the first 10 games. And what do you think of the work he's done since then in his first year as a head coach?
Yeah, I felt for Ryan. I mean, we were down there. He wears losses a lot harder than people think. And, I just said, hey, it's going to take a little time here. We knew where we were last year. We're in this together for the long haul. That's the one thing. I think to have a successful coach, the players need to know the coach has the backing of the GM and he's going to be here long term. Because if they think the coach isn't going to be here, it just doesn't work down there. So the coach has to have the power, and he needs to know it, and people need to know I have his back. So he obviously was hoping and wanted to have that quick start, that bump that usually a new coach gets, and we didn't get it. But I said, he had the right idea, how we want to play, what we want to do. And I think since then, it's been getting better. The players are buying in, the way our systems are, defensive zone. There's still mistakes. You'd like to tighten it up. Oh, two guys went to the wrong guy at the same time. But it takes a little time. So I do think Ryan's working hard. He's got a plan. We're trying to he's willing to play the young guys, which is nice. I mean, he's willing to give everybody opportunity. And I think, I think with Sharon Govich, I was able to go down and talk. I said, this is kind of, we had him on the fourth line center. That's really not where he fit, but he was open to it. He said, you're right. Let's try to give him a chance, put him with some different players, put him on the right side. And then it just, I give Sharon Govich a ton of credit. It's taken off. He's done a great job. So, I think Ryan's open to try to figure out who fits where and how to get the most out of guys. And I like that, but it's open. I think he's good with the staff. He's great to work with for me. And we're not where we want to be. That's the thing. We want to be a team that competes consistently for the playoffs and eventually tries to win a Stanley Cup. That's the main goal for us. And, it's everybody wants it today. It's a little bit harder than that, but that's what we're trying to get to.
When it comes to trade rumors, everybody's focused on the expiring contracts, the UFAs, and we know who remains. You've done a lot of work now from where you were a year ago, or I guess even by the draft. Are there any discussions, and I'm not saying that it's you necessarily instigating discussions, but you've had a lot of talks with teams here, obviously, over the last few weeks. Are there players potentially that aren't UFAs on your squad that have been part of trade talks, or that you can envision that there might be some bigger deals, or there could be someone that, aside from the UFAs, that we're not expecting could possibly be in the mix somehow?
yeah, I'd be, to be honest, I'd be doing a disservice to say when I talk to teams, I'm open to anything. Like, that's what I said. If it makes us better, if it gets us to where we want to go, I wouldn't limit it to, one person or just the UFAs. You have to be open. I mean, that's part of the job, is just to be open to anything. And, are we going to do it? If it makes sense, then, definitely have to take it to the players. And, some people have no trade, but you're always looking to improve your team. So I don't want to say there's no untouchables, but, I definitely haven't shopped them, but, you're going to be open to any conversation when you talk to teams. It's only fair. It's my job.
Yeah. Because the picture starts to become clearer. You can speculate, well, if we'd make this deal, or if this player leaves, and then now that Lindholm is out, and what you've gotten in return. I wonder if that change, does that start to shift? Okay, well, here's where we are. Well, maybe we do get a little bit younger, or maybe we do go, or there is more emphasis on keeping a veteran or something like that, or is it pretty static? You have a plan, you, Jerome, everybody there, you have your plan, and you stick to it regardless of how the next 5 weeks plays out.
Well, you're always a little bit. I mean, I know everybody. We have a plan. We do. I know people want to know the plan, but it's the players have some decisions in those plans, how they play. Show me you want to. Like I said, it's the culture, wanting to be in Calgary. I think that's the one thing when you're looking at improving. I believe it's exciting. The new arena is an exciting thing for me. That's one of the things that excites me. And I think when I can talk to players and, talk to agents, when they ask me, is there really going to be, and I'm excited that we're going to have a new rink at some time. And I think that's going to be a game changer for us too. I do. But, right now, hopefully as we're building moving forward, when that new rink's here, everybody's excited and we're headed in the right direction. Like I said, playoffs and hopefully Stanley Cup. That's the goal.
I wanted to ask you about a couple of guys that have returned to form. Oliver Shillington went 20 months without playing. Kudos to you and the organization for allowing him time to get back to this spot. And also Monahan got traded today, and you would have seen that guy go through probably more surgeries than you could count on your hands. You need to probably get to toes. So just a thought on both of those guys, and I guess returns to form of sorts.
Well, I mean, obviously with Shilly, it's one of those things. I didn't know how it was going to go. It was a year and a half, and you're kind of thinking, is it ever going to happen? And we just, we were trying to support him the whole time and make sure that he was getting everything he needed that we could do. We didn't want to pressure him with anything or put any undue stress on him. But for him to come back this year and really work as hard as he has, and to see him on the ice, it's pretty special, actually. It's exciting because I didn't know if that day was ever going to happen. And obviously with Monahan, he probably would look back on his time and a couple of those things, he probably should have went and not played the rest of the year and just went and take care of himself. But I give him credit. He's a warrior. He had more injuries that people don't even know about. I thought, should he really be even? But he just always wanted to try to play. He said, I'm a hockey player. I want to play. So to see him get traded today, and I'm happy for him. He's having a great year. He really is. I've been watching. They got him killing penalties too, which is we didn't have him doing that here, but good for him. It's always to the Canadian teams though. We got to get some trades down in the States now.
Well, you mentioned Savvy was in your office. Are you helping him out, or is he pulling his hair out? Like, he clearly is not enjoying how things are operating.
You know what? That's one thing about Savvy. He's every day he's with our guys working, he's trying to figure this out. Not happy. But you know what? Again, he has. I like to sit with Savvy to see what he wants from the guys. But if guys don't execute, I don't care what your plan is. You have to execute. You have to get in the zone. We need guys to make plays. That's what power play people do. They do special things. When you watch a team, up north, hey, they're in motion. They a broken play. They grab a puck. They do what they do, and sometimes you have to do that. And right now, Savvy's trying to put in like a general structure of what he would like, but you got to be creative. You gotta get to those hard, dirty areas. It's a tip. It's an ugly goal. It's not pretty. We gotta, it was a rebound, went off the guy's foot. Lindy almost missed the shot, but it hit the guy, went in. I mean, That's what you need, but it's a lot of traffic around the net. And sometimes it's got to get ugly before it gets better. And that's just playing simple and hard, and going to those hard areas and get in front of the goalie and out competing. You got to out compete the four guys. That's a big thing for me.
A month today, one of the greatest goalies that ever wore Flame Silks, he'll have his number to the rafters. Will Mika actually be there, Craig? Have you confirmed? Have you got flights? He's RSVP'd to his own jersey retirement or not?
Peter Hanlon's telling me he's coming. Until I see Mika in the building or know he landed, I think we have the flights and everything all ready and stuff all set. It's going to be a great time, though. It's well deserved. I'm so excited to be here and be a part of it. It's going to be great. I can't wait to see Rhett and all the guys. And you know what? I mean, I think when we look back, I think it's great when teams celebrate their players that have done a good job. And it just says, hey, you have something special in the organization. And to have Mika come back and want to do it is even more special. I don't know how long the speech is going to be, maybe 2 words, but we got noodles coming in. So hopefully, and Rhett can always get up there and talk too.
Oh, he loves it, yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Can't shut up, this guy.
Yeah, try and get a word in edgewise. It's impossible. You know what? Last thing, Jacob Pelche, we mentioned him earlier with the Wranglers. What are you seeing? What are you hearing? Any kind of an expectation as to when he might be in the NHL lineup?
He 2 nights ago, he's tired in the third, but the energy he brought was he brings that fire and passion. Talked to Don Maloney. I was going to go down there, but with everything that's happened, I ended up staying in Calgary. But he said the pace, skating, everything looked really, really good. So, I would think probably sooner than later he's going to get an opportunity for sure to be back up here.
Yeah, we talked about it a couple weeks ago. We said, wouldn't it be something? This was before Oliver got back in. If you had Shillington, Zari, if Pospisil is healthy,
Pelche.
Coronado, Pelche comes in. Didn't think we'd be talking about Kuzmenko, but it's going to be a very different looking roster to kick off this road trip in Boston, potentially, whenever Pelche gets back in, than what we saw even 2-3 weeks ago. It's exciting for fans, I think. You must be excited as well.
I am excited. You know what? And the one thing I can, I always tell the guys, this is the NHL. It's not a God-given right to play here. You have to earn this. So come and take a job. Show us, hey, I'm an NHL player. Exactly what Zari did. He came in and said, look, I mean, he told me when he gets his chance, when I sent him down, he was not happy with me. I said, hey, okay, go down, play well. I'll call you back up and then show me. And he,
he's done that.
Yeah.
I like it. He's got a little edge, and he was like, I said, great job. You did it. He said, well, you gave me a chance, and I appreciate it. But I just wanted that opportunity to show you, Craig. I said, hey, you did. So I go, but the first part is to get here to have that excitement. Now, I think his game has been in and out a little bit. It's the consistency. Rhett would tell you it's hard every day to play at that high level. And that's the thing. I said, again, as we move forward, we need to keep you way up here. And over the summer, you got to come back and take it to another level. I expect more. Like, I do expect more from these young guys. I don't think, oh, wow, I made the NHL. That's good enough. No, that's not good enough. We got to take it to another level. Then that's the message to all my young guys.
We'll let you go. Appreciate your time. You're always good with your time with us. We do appreciate it. Any calls to make? Any return calls, or you can go home and have dinner tonight and not worry about the phone too much?
No. It is. It's a busier time now. I think when you make a trade early, it's good for me to learn that if you make one early, all of a sudden people think, oh, it's more urgent. So I do think it'll pick up, but. I'm just going to continue to do what I was doing kind of with Lindholm and see where everything's at, and then it'll kind of go from there.
Nice.
Thanks, Connie.
Thank you, Craig.
Thanks, guys. Have a great time at the All-Star games.
Yeah, we're a bunch of all-stars over here for sure.
He can clutch and hold with the best of them.
Yeah,
he didn't even use those verbs describing
some of
Rhett's
the best
play.
in the league over here.
All-star arms,
yeah.
7 feet wingspan, yeah.
So there you go. Craig Conroy, Flames GM, joining us here on Barn Burner.
Awesome.
It's a big deal. You think about...
I think about him in his personal life. I know
Yeah.
he's been around the team forever in a management type role, but when you're the guy that finally goes, yeah, we're signing off on this. Like he did the Toffoli one, but to me that seemed like not as big a deal.
Yeah.
Like this one felt like you better not F it up.
Oh yeah, this
Right?
was
Like
his biggest trade.
This
Yeah.
is a swing
Yeah.
and you have to connect.
Yeah.
And it's one that the whole league would be watching because Lindholm was number one on trade boards around the league. So it's not just your biggest asset. This is everybody's. And in a way, set the market. We talked with Frank yesterday. Kent Hughes in Montreal, was he happy to see the kind of haul? And I don't know. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't. But Monahan gets a first and a third round pick from Winnipeg.
Potentially third, yep.
It's...
Oh, you're right. It is third, yeah. And so that could improve. Like, that's impressive.
Yeah.
And I think when we talked about it heading into the draft, it was like, A, that's a special draft class. B, it's a new GM. Connie's earned a little cred around the league for some of the deals he's done. This isn't the new guy that you can just take his lunch at recess. Like, he's made two deals that I think it's going to cut out the nonsense offers that I think he probably got a lot of in June when he had, 5 UFAs? Toffoli's gone. Backlund's re-signed. Shillington's a sort of a one-off on its own because of the unique circumstance there. Now you see Lindholm gone. There's 2D left. I don't think he has to waste his time with people lowballing him, trying to throw him a boat anchor. He's made 2 really good deals, and I think garnered some respect.
They feel like chess moves as opposed to checkers, right?
Yes.
Like there's a little more depth to what they're trying to do.
Yeah, and there are a lot of similarities between the Sharon Govich story and the Kuzmenko one in terms of like those tools he's chasing and maybe some organizational fits and depth issues on the teams that he plucks them off.
I think that's a huge. Like I think that guy's going to get so much ice time and opportunity.
100%.
And clearly he's gifted.
Oh, and you look at what was above him on the depth chart in
Yes.
Van. You're having JT Miller, Brock Besser, and Elias Pettersson. It's like he's their 4th most talented forward in Vancouver, and here it's like no one else has scored 39 ever that's on this team.
Yeah, he's not going into Huska's office lobbying for power play time.
He's going to have
How
as
much
much
do
as
you
he
want?
wants. Yes.
2 minutes or less each time
Yeah, keep
there's a
going.
penalty. How's that sound?
Yeah.
So I do think, and you get Pelche back in there, and
It's a lot of wingers.
it's a lot.
And
Yeah.
like we joked about Cole Schwint yesterday, but it's like after Kadri and Backlund, we're going to see who can play a little bit of center. And, sadly, Dubé was a guy that could a little. He's away from the team. Ruzicka, you lose on waivers. AJ Greer injured. That affects your depth. Schwint's hardly played in the NHL, and he's their 3rd center. And I wonder about the Zary thing because at lower levels he has. I just think it's a really tough ask. You know how big and strong NHL
I think it is a
centers
tough
are.
ask, but I did like what he said about Zari saying, "I'll go down," but
Yeah.
Oh,
Mark my
totally.
words.
Like,
And
it
if
doesn't
he's-
mean he's not going to give it a try. And
Yeah.
look, it's the right time to do it. It's the tail end of a season where you're not going to make the playoffs. See what you got.
And the thing to remember is, too, I think for us guys that do a show every day, it's okay to try some guys at center.
Oh.
This year is what it is.
Yeah.
So if you have some guys that come through, maybe they move from the wing to center, maybe they come up from the A and it doesn't work. It's fine. That's you can't say, look, trade these guys, please get younger. And then when they get younger,
they
geez,
can't
I
do
don't, that guy's
Well,
not.
they're really young. I don't know.
They're a little too young. There's not enough experience there. So you got to. It's the growing pains with doing this. I sure feel like in the people that I've talked to, you're always sad when I think when maybe your favorite player or the guy you've got his jersey or it's been 6 years for Lindholm, and this is it's the dismantling of a team that's been here for a long time. But I do feel like the mood is high around Flames fans. I don't think anybody's really lamenting that this. It's another one of those pieces. I mean, it's a lot of players.
Someone had a
Bennett,
photo.
Kachuk, like right.
Yeah, someone had a photo the other day of a power play goal, and it was like Monahan, Giordano, Lindholm, Gaudreau, Kachuk, all like in the corner. And
Yeah.
you're like, over. All 5 are gone now.
Yeah.
We are going bowling
Oh, baby.
coming up February 29th, later this month, because it is February, I believe.
Yeah, Rhett said rabbit.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
so.
Splitsville is the place where it's going to be. The location, it is 5th Avenue Northeast, formerly Let's Bowl. We are going to be rolling with the Bowlerama and in support of Kids Sport. Once again, Kevin and everybody going to be helping us out, going to be there. Celebrities, good times, some food and drink. Oodle Noodle is on board, going
Oh.
to be serving up some. You've never had the Oodle?
No, I'm.
Oh, dude, you're going to love it.
Our buddies at Origin Brewing, going to have some Barn Burner Blonde kicking around. And if you want to be part of it, and celebrities, we're going to have a great time. But raising money for a great cause, and it's time. It's been 10 years or so since we've done
crazy.
that.
I feel like it's best on best hockey. It's been too long.
Too long.
In the McDavid era, we haven't
You
had.
must be so excited today.
Well,
You must be so excited.
We're getting there. We're getting there.
Rhett and I are also very excited.
Yeah, we were pumped.
We talk about it at lunch. We just cannot wait.
Not fine.
Nationgear.ca is the website where you can go and get your teams of 4, which will kind of be 5, maybe some celebrities kicking in, doing a little bit of rolling for you, but limited spots available, obviously, due to the nature of the event. Nationgear.ca, get in. Money reason for kids sport once again.
I hope I hope there's some cool bowling jerseys or shirts.
We got shirts coming.
We got some shirts coming. And here's the thing. If you got your team, live it up.
Oh yeah, you can't come in weak.
Don't just come in and, I'll put this shirt. Have some fun with it.
Yeah.
So loosen your tie, maybe put it around your head.
You need some gear. You get
Afro wigs, like bell bottoms. Let's have some fun here.
That's right.
Dress up. Superhero outfits.
Water buffaloes. Wasn't Freddie Flintstone? And
Freddie and Barney, yeah, for sure.
Traveling joggers. Do something. Let's go.
Lebowski.
Oh,
Don't mess with the Jesus.
that creep can roll.
That shot of Turturro
Yes.
polishing the ball is so friggin' great. That is one of the great. Like, if you've not seen Lebowski, it's
the
so
best.
good.
Yeah, it
There's
gets
so
better
many-
every time you watch it.
So
It's
many
one of
great
those.
great roles in that. Just love it. So yeah, we'll do some of that. You mentioned lots of news today.
A ton.
We may as well do
absolute
it.
Yeah,
Kind of
sure.
a makeshift Pinder report.
Yep.
Brought to you by Village Honda. The Honda Civic continues to lead the way in value, reliability, and performance. The 2024 Civic received a 10 out of 10 in Car and Driver's
10 out of 10. Reliability.
Oh no.
Top score. Oh, double
There we-
glasses.
here we
Load them up. Load them up.
Now it'll go smooth.
comprehensive
Ah.
vehicle testing. The Civic Type R and Civic SI were ranked number 1 and number 2, respectively, in the Sport Compact category. In the Northwest Auto Mall, your dealership for life, it's Village Honda. Village Honda presents the Pinder Report.
Put those back on. It's just
I'll
too
give 'em a
good when you
little
do that. It's just the best.
What's that?
The
There we go.
professionalism
Yeah.
that we exude.
We're here in the
So
Royal
good.
York.
Yeah.
Please, ladies and gentlemen,
Double
come in and
glasses.
see how this digital age is done.
With 2 sets of glasses. All right, Pinder Report. We got big news today. Another trade. We mentioned it, alluded to it with Craig Conroy, the GM of the Flames, former Flame and former first rounder of the Calgary Flames. Sean Monahan has moved again for the second time. He will garner a first rounder for the Montreal Canadiens. They received a first rounder for taking the last year of his contract and now re-upped him to a low money deal and have traded him for Winnipeg's first rounder this year, plus a conditional third rounder in 2027. That is some serious asset management from Kent Hughes.
Well done,
and
Kent.
the
Yes,
Habs
Kent.
brass.
Applause all
And
around.
Monahan was good for them.
Yeah.
Right?
He
It's
was
not like he
fine.
went there and
Well,
said,
you know what though? He's got that shitty attitude. He, like,
yeah, he's such a jerk. Just disrupt the room.
yeah.
Well, and we talked about it. You felt bad for the guy, but his body had failed him for the last 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
Even last year, he got off to a good start, and of course, he didn't finish the season and got hurt, missed a lot of time. But he goes to Winnipeg, where the Jets will slot him somewhere between Scheifele and Lowry, and we'll see what that does. That's a little added depth there. They did lose Pierre-Luc Dubois this past summer, a center. Not that they miss him, Rhett. We'll get to more on that in a moment because he's in the news. But Monahan to his third Canadian team. And Kent Hughes, 2 first-rounders for all his work in this. Excellent, excellent, excellent.
It's maybe some of the best work ever
Yeah.
on the GM front.
Yeah, we'll
It's
take
really-
you
it's
in the
pretty good.
first, and you can go in there and score a few goals first, and then we'll move you
Because
again.
what did he have? 13 goals. We'll take the player and get a first.
Yeah.
And he'll play well for us. And then we'll trade him and get another first.
If you're the Calgary
Incredible.
Flames or their fans, you're really hoping that Florida wins the Cup in 2025, not this year but next year. So that's pick 32. But
You know, either
it's a
way.
hell of a move for the Habs, whatever those picks turn out to be. Other news, we mentioned Pierre-Luc Dubois. He may have his hands and fingerprints on this retro as Todd McClellan has been fired.
Yeah.
Jim Hiller comes in as the interim coach. And I don't know that we can go very long talking about this without mentioning Pierre-Luc Dubois because of how frustrating it's been. And I think they just inked him to an extension. Like, this is not good in L.A., and it speaks to the pressure that they're feeling after coming flying out of the gates in the Pacific. Vegas, Edmonton, Vancouver. They're
Tremendous
now on a wild
start.
card.
Yeah. Tremendous
That's
start.
right. They had that wicked. They couldn't
Was it
lose
16,
on the road.
17 in a row
They
on the
were
road
just
without a loss.
flying.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's,
And all signs, I mean, we're a long ways from it, but you sure hear the rumblings that all signs are that's like, it's that guy. This guy is the
Yeah.
problem.
yeah.
Not Todd McClellan.
Who I think everyone regards as a very, very, very accomplished top 5 to 10 coach in the league. Like, he's going to work again.
Yeah. Competent.
So you wonder who it'll be? Everybody, the you'd kind of default to Craig Berube. Berube's a guy that wouldn't
in the
put up
mix.
with any kind of guff.
But I don't think Todd McClellan would either. So you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I
like
know.
it's one of those
No.
situations. This is a problem when some of the guys that have big contracts and you bring in, you're going to
It's
rely
8
on.
years.
Yeah,
It's not dissimilar from what we saw with Huberdeau in a way where it just wasn't going to work with Sutter. And it's like, look, Sutter might be a great coach, but he's
What
only
difference
got
does it make? Yeah.
X on money in term. And this player, like, it's way more money in term. And if you can make the player work somehow, you can save the thing. And so the coach becomes the casualty. Shades of that here.
And I don't know how close they are to being elite or whatever, but there's a bit of Woodcroft there too, right? This is a very good team that they need a shakeup. It's
Yeah.
just going to have to be the
It's
coach
a new voice, yeah.
that's thrown into the mouth of the volcano, sacrifice.
We've seen it, right?
Right?
Like Knobloch goes on this run. I believe it was Mike Sullivan in Pittsburgh. They won a cup. We saw
Even the guy before
Berube
Sullivan,
in St. Louis,
Dan
Bilesma
Bilesma
as well. We've seen interim coaches lift hardware.
Sutter.
Darryl
LA.
in L.A. taking over for Murray. Yeah, there's been a bunch of mid-season coaches that hoist trophies, and that's clearly what the Kings are banking on here, that a little change of the air in the room could be just what this group needs, a fresh start.
It's wild how many coaches have been changed again.
So I've got it here.
You start going along.
Since the end of last season, 13 coaching changes. That's nearly half the league. So we'll give you the easy ones. The man who talks about himself in the third person,
Mike
Babcock. So
Right,
Columbus has done
yeah.
it twice.
They've done it
so
twice.
they bring Babs in, they
Yeah.
lose Babs, they Pascal Vincent. So there's two. Ottawa just made the change from DJ Smith to Jacques Martin as the interim. Minnesota ran Dean Evison earlier this year. You just saw Patrick Waugh come in on Long Island. Craig Berube got run. Nashville as a fresh start with now Barry Trotz as the GM and a new coach. Anaheim went to, Greg Cronin this year is his first year. Washington, we saw Mitch Love join that staff with Spencer Carberry, his first-year head coach. Rangers, new coach. Flames with Huska. And the Oilers as well. That is
you
almost
say the
half
Canucks?
the league.
And Vancouver still feels like
It was late last season, so you could
That
even say
feels like,
14
yeah.
if you go from a year ago today.
Yeah.
And like that's just incredible to see that much turnover. Almost half the league.
Yeah.
Ugh. Those are the two big news items today. And if you want to go now, longest tenured coaches, only 5 were with their current teams in 2019. John Cooper, Jared Bednar, Sheldon Keefe, Mike Sullivan, Rod Brind'Amour. All of those perennial contenders, maybe with the exception of Pittsburgh, who seem to be teetering a little.
And here, Keefe feels like he's on the hot seat always.
Anyone coaching in this market
Yeah.
is when things aren't right. So, yeah.
So that's Pinder Report.
Yeah, there you go. News of the day.
There you go. Village Honda presents the Pinder Report. Huge selection of pre-owned vehicles, all makes, all models, all budgets, over 90 on site. Access to more than 500 more inside the dealership group. Make Village Honda your one-stop automotive destination in Calgary. They're worth the trip in the Northwest Auto Mall and online at villagehonda.com. So you yesterday did some local media, I understand.
You as in
local.
You as in you, Rhett.
Like national media. Huge.
No, you were,
I
coast to
said the
coast
word
to coast.
piss real early on, and I feel like I may be upset.
What was the context of it?
Well, I was taking a shot at the Leafs fans because I
Right.
said I've never been cheered for here ever since they beat the piss out of the Leafs in '99 semifinals.
Right, yeah.
That was kind of the context, and
It's
then
a good tone setter, right?
I thought
Yeah.
that would be warm things up.
Yeah.
So you're used to this environment, not that
Is
radio
that
thing.
is that a bad word? Do you think in that? I couldn't decide.
I think it's. I think the
It'd be right
guest,
on the edge?
the guest can get away with it
Yes,
more than
totally.
a host can, or one
Yeah.
of the guys. If you kick the shit, would be.
I
one
should have
step
said
further.
snot.
Okay.
We snot bubbled or something like that.
I like piss though.
Okay.
Piss is, you know what?
Edgy.
You do you.
It's kind of dangerous.
And then
yeah,
it's
piss
edgy.
and vinegar, piss and moan, kick the piss. Ooh, that's right. It gets people's attention.
That's what I was looking for.
Yeah, you did.
And then they asked me to promote our show.
Right. How'd that
Oh,
go,
great.
Rhett?
That's a huge opportunity.
The show you're on every bloody day.
I said, "Yo, what's your new project?" And you said,
We're doing a podcast.
It's called blank. You can find it blank. We do blank. Follow us online at blank.
"Like,
Our
subscribe,
social
5
media
stars."
blank.
I mentioned the podcast, right?
We're doing a podcast. Oh, so you and every other donkey in the world. Thanks, Rhett.
And he wore this shirt today, the Barn Burner shirt, not yesterday. When
We're
he was
doing
on
a
national
podcast.
television. Rat. God damn it.
I'm not perfect, okay?
That's a very low bar. Perfection was not what we wanted. We wanted some kind of competence. That's all.
And did they press you on it? Oh, so tell us about the podcast.
Kind of opened the door to really walk.
And you just turned away.
I hit the.
Look at the time.
Yeah.
Speaking of pisses,
wall.
I gotta go.
He went to the
guys.
bathroom. All right. Well, there's Rhett. Look for Rhett's podcast on wherever you get your podcasts.
Sorry.
On him.
Unbelievable.
Service Credit Union. The Service Big Share is back for the 6th year with your chance to win $1 million just by saving money. Anyone can enter by becoming a member and saving with Service. Every $500 saved gives you 5 entries into the Service Big Share contest. Transfer your existing savings to Service for chances to win $1 million. The contest ends April 30th, 2024. Skill testing question will be required. For rules, visit service.ca/win. So there you go. I want to make sure I get all those because
I hope the skill testing isn't about mentioning and promoting it.
What is the name of your podcast? Can you tell us where you work?
for $1 million.
What's your job? Oh,
What's,
podcast.
Don't worry. I was so good, I know they'll have me back.
So that you can
Then
get it right.
I'll get it
Yeah.
up to second.
Yeah, that's good.
Good. So the Flames make the biggest deal they've made in years, and your first time ever on this show.
I was like Ricky Bobby. There was cameras. and
Where do I put
was-
my hands?
where-
Yeah.
What do I do with my hands? Now, what about you? What's been...
What's been?
Did you go see Bieber last? I saw Bieber was
God!
doing
I heard there was a
stuff.
Bieber party, and I'm like, I'm not a huge Bieber guy, but that would be a scene in there.
Yeah.
I did a little sniffing around. $1,800 sticker price.
Oh,
That
Lucky
just
we're-
a touch out of my price range. I know we've been good on Betway bets, but not quite that good lately. So
where was he? Where was it? the
I
thing?
don't know. Somewhere fancy, I'm sure.
Yeah.
We ended up going to a place called Paris, Texas, which was a country bar in Toronto, which just felt weird to me.
Not even the
It
name.
also felt weird
Even
to
the name sounds-
3 of the Russian all-stars who walked in and did the old Abe Simpson hang the hat, another turn
Yeah.
around the hat, out we go. They weren't feeling it either. So I think it was Shesterkin and Kaprizov. And
Hey, want to do some boot scooting? No?
Nope.
All right, see you later.
do you have rah-rah Rasputin? No, this is probably
that's not
not
the right
the right
thing.
part for that. I did tap Kucherov on the shoulder, and I said, "You're having an absolute monster season.
You did.
You're
I
a
had to
mega
watch
stud."
that.
And then I just kept walking.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
Important.
yeah.
I'm sure I got him in a
That's-
fantasy pool or something, so I feel
I'm
like
sure.
a part of
Yeah,
ownership there.
he'd
Yeah.
really appreciate that. Now,
Oh, and sorry.
no, good. Yeah.
Massive foot-long sub at 2 a.m. Left half in the fridge this morning. Never been so excited to wake up. Oh, it was just sensational.
Is that right?
Yeah.
What kind?
Turkey bacon,
Nice.
chipotle sauce,
Got it.
shredded lettuce.
Yeah.
Did you know they had chicken noodle soup in the little pantry market of the hotel?
Oh.
Really?
Yeah.
They had a little pantry there?
Yeah.
We went for lunch just down the hall here, and we're looking at the menu, and it's first. It was, hi, can we help you, gentlemen? Well, we were hoping to sit down and have some lunch.
2?
For 2? It's like, is that,
We never see twos.
is that a,
What do we do here?
Sorry, I mean, 1 and 1. We don't need to sit together.
You want us
Whatever.
to pull someone in off the street? What do you?
Well, I'll go take a look. And then she came back. So 2, right? It's like, holy crap.
It's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, she came back a second. So 2?
Still
Leaves again and comes
think-
back.
right.
Okay, well, all I have is it's just the bar menu, and I have to put you. It's like, okay.
Would you like a 2-top?
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, and they had a classic little kind of a little
beautiful
table back
restaurant.
there. The
I think she was hinting that maybe we're not the clientele they're
Yeah.
looking for.
for 2.
Were there
Does the old
monocles
head
and
to
top
toe.
hats and
It was a bit of that.
tuxedos?
Yeah, it was a bit
okay.
of that for
That'll
sure.
happen.
Yeah, but we were both disappointed because we looked at
We ordered.
we ordered,
Mm-hmm.
and then there was another table,
Ah.
and the guy said, "You can hear the waiter. Would you like the soup? Yeah, I would get the soup. Soup?
The hell's the soup? There was
you
no
didn't tell
soup.
us
No
about the
soup on the soup.
Soup?
You can't have soup and not tell us. You daily special and soup of the day. That's the
Yeah.
first thing you say when you're serving.
So then the guy was like 70 years old, kind of the classic old wait staff here at a hotel. Punched him right in the mouth.
Oh. Jeez.
and
tipped
threw
my-
his coffee at him.
I tipped my Royale with cheese right on
Yeah,
the floor. It's
just smushed it right in his
what I think
face.
of you jerk.
You know what? Tell people about the soup.
Yeah.
And then he walked out. It was awkward. Betway,
Got some stuff for you.
do you?
Well, I know how big you guys are in the All-Star game, and if you feel like you're all-starred out, because we've really been going hard on the festivities, whatever happened last night, we've talked a lot about it.
Yeah.
The easy thing on Betway, minus 115. That's all you need to know.
Okay.
Team McDavid, Team Matthews, team other teams, all the teams are just minus 115. So rip through those rosters, find who you like on the old Betway app.
So that's for the game tomorrow. Like, is there anything
That's
for
the-
skills or?
I just went to the games, but there will be some skills there for sure.
Yeah.
We don't.
All-Star.
Do you want to break down that the Leafs were all
They
united?
were all in this. Yeah, it was
So
nice.
good.
Yeah.
And
So
did the
good.
Canucks?
I'm so
Did they say thanks but no thanks to Elias Lindholm? Because it seemed like all of them, but then him and I don't know.
I didn't watch.
I didn't either. Yeah,
To be honest,
it's not our vibe.
I don't know
You guys
what
didn't
happened.
watch?
What did you guys do in Toronto? Oh, we were covering the All-Star game.
Yeah, covering the All-Star game. Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. Tate McRae's very good. Bieber was singing
so
somewhere.
She's from Calgary.
That's
she's a
correct.
country singer. The album
no,
she's
she's not.
Okay, what is she? Sorry.
She's like a
Pop
huge
star?
pop star.
Okay, thank you. Sorry. Her album cover, she's got the hockey goalie pads on the wrong bleeping legs.
Oh dear.
Like, what are we doing here?
Maybe she did it on purpose.
Like, I get it if you're from Louisiana and you're trying to be cute with some props, but you're Canadian, you don't know which pad goes on which leg?
Yeah.
What are we doing here? Like, how does that get, how many people saw that and were like, yep, we're good. Fire them all.
I guess. Yeah.
What are we doing?
I would agree with Pinder. I would be outraged.
Pads on the wrong
it's a
way.
hot take right there.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I thought you would, because I don't know. I'm learning about Tate McRae and just how massive she truly is. Like,
Apparently big, very big.
huge.
When she's at the Flames game on the glass and everyone was, oh my
Yeah.
gosh. And you're like, okay, people care.
Yeah.
Not my genre, clearly. Because I didn't know what the genre was.
Yeah.
So
Awkward.
it doesn't go like this.
Get the Betway app on your phone, play along, get on your tablet, get on your desktop, do whatever you got to do. We got the All-Star game. We got the big football game next weekend. It just makes it more fun. Bet the responsible way with Betway. And you're here in Ontario. You better be 19, you stinkers.
Yeah, no
Better-
sneakiness.
No sneaky. No sneaky. No sneaky. Now for DoorDash,
DoorDash.
what do we got on the menu? Because with DoorDash, you just get the app and it's easy. You go on there. What do you want? Where do you want it from? When do you want it? You do that. You get the app, and right now, Nation25 is the promo code. That'll save you 25% off your first order of $15 or more. So if you were Friday, Hawaiian Shirt Day.
That's
But
correct.
if you were going to be staying at home tonight, maybe watching the
Yeah.
whatever it is tonight at the
What's on
All-Star
the menu?
game, whatever it is, what's on the menu for DoorDash?
NHL skills tonight from Toronto, and also the Raptors in Houston to take on the
Astros.
Pirates.
That's right. Can't wait for that tonight, as they obviously got kicked out of their building so rudely by
Right.
the All-Stars.
Yeah.
I am told they do play half their schedule on the road, so hopefully that wasn't
Half?
yeah,
Well,
as
that's
much
bullshit.
as half. Yeah. So that's what's on the menu tonight. What are you ordering if you're sitting watching tonight?
I might go with movie popcorn.
Yeah. And
You
then
got to want it. It's
he wants it.
I love it.
I can see what your evening looks like if you're
The
craving movie
Shoveler's out of
popcorn.
town, and me and the boys are gonna
Sweatpants, hoodie,
Oh, it's gonna be great.
slippers. I see you. Good order.
There you go. That's what's on the menu for DoorDash. Dash that for the win. Retro's heading back because you've the Shovelers, what, Cleveland?
Cleveland 3 weekends in a row.
Holy smokes.
That's a lot of Cleveland.
Cleveland
That
rocks.
Hall of Fame gets tired the second and third time.
Cleveland rocks, yeah.
You gotta be
Cleveland
tough.
does. It must. And we are.
You're gone today?
I was telling you this story. Wednesday or whatever it was. What day did we fly? Tuesday. I'm at
Wednesday.
my kids' ringette game,
Wednesday.
and one of the dads says, "So you're going to Toronto for the All-Star thing, hey? So you're gone for the weekend? You'll miss the tournament?" I said, "Well, no, I'm coming back Friday." You're not. You're going to the All-Star. You're not even staying
go
for
to
the
the
game?
game?
I was like, "No, I'm coming back Friday." Oh, jeez. Oh, they're just disgusting. So you can go to all the Flames games? Well, I mean, yeah, I've got a pal. Yeah, probably. So how many do you go to?
None.
I don't think I've been to one yet this year. Oh, for gosh, jeez. So do you? It's like you can like text. You can talk to Conroy or whatever. Oh yeah. I mean, he's whatever. Oh, so you guys like go for lunch? Or what? No, not really.
Kinda busy.
He asks, but I don't know. I'm doing the show at home now. I'd have to like drive downtown, have lunch, drive all the way home. It just feels like a lot.
It's like your
it's
snow globe is just shrinking. And
It's
shrinking
so
and shrinking.
small.
Like I'm worried
I
about
don't even
you
know.
doing the stairs. Like, is there one
Jeez.
floor that you just confined to now? I can't believe we got you another
He's going to
province.
be one of those tiny homes. It'll be good. You just
That's just get me on a plane and get me home. I'm just very out of sorts.
I was like, when's your flight? He's like, it's the late one, but as soon as this is done, I'm just going to the airport and maybe they can put me on
I'm
an
just gonna.
earlier
Can you
one.
get me home sooner? Can you get me? Just go from like you can get me home now. Can you get me home now?
Sir, do you want my wallet? I'm going to go on this flight. You just wait and go on the next one.
Now that said, thank you to everybody, especially Seagram's VO Select for setting us up here in the studio at the Royal York. We've had a great week. We have been doing things other than just this show. And the thing is, it's just a rotating cast of shows that come through
right.
here. Frank's on 13, 14 hours a day from here. I don't know. We haven't had him on for an hour. He must be just chomping at the bit to get
was
on here
actually
and
on the
talk
Vancouver
about.
show.
Yeah, he was
Surprise.
doing the other show. Now, because Gary B
Gary B.
is doing a little hoop-de-doo down the way.
He's freestyling in an alley?
They're down in the Imperial Room.
Okay.
You know what it is? It's a fireside chat.
nice.
Yeah.
Not a State of the Union, a fireside
no,
chat.
A fireside chat. Him and Marty Walsh
Oh, just great pals. PA in
have
the
a
league.
battle royal.
What
So you
kind of
gonna go
fight?
check that
If that
out?
was WWE, what kind of fight do you want there? Is it like
Boy, I don't
money
know.
in the bank because it's always money they're fighting
No,
over?
they're-
Is it over the top rope? What are we
Gary's
doing?
so small. What would be, I don't want him going over a cage.
Cage is too aggressive.
Man, you might need a lumberjack match, which is where you have a bunch of them around the ring where
throwing them back
you
in?
throw them back in. Did you see Edge was here earlier?
Is that Edge was here today?
Edge was here.
Amazing. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Still got a great jaw?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Big, eh?
Yeah, large, eh?
Yeah. He's like,
These wrestlers, a lot of muscles.
You're big, eh?
Didn't look like a guy you want to mess with.
No, that's what I said to him. I was like, you're freaking big, eh?
You had a Leafs hat. I'm like, that Leafs fan's not getting chirped as much as the rest.
Yeah, yeah. And then they got
Leaving him
Rosehill
alone.
talking to him. Rosehill's like, so wrestling is a thing, hey? It's like, fuck, why would you get Rosehill to talk to him?
Cool. We got something. This show's going to end. The next show is Department of Discipline. Rosie and I have Brad May coming up next. That is
There we
Rosie's
go.
wheelhouse.
Yeah.
And they've fought once. That's my next hour.
So you're a wrestler. Hey, have you ever, you and Connor McDavid ever? Jesus.
Come on, Rosie.
Just come on, Rosie.
you wrestle at the Olympics? Is it still in the Olympics?
He can hear us in the hallway. He's peering in.
Oh, what a beauty. He's laughing.
Yeah, yeah. Could we get anybody dumber to talk to somebody?
Oh,
Let's get a guy who knows less
very
than
nice.
Jay Rosehill.
Yeah, just some stray bullets from Dean as he races to the airport.
Yeah, that's
I got to
right.
catch a train.
Hightailing it.
All right, well, the Oiler boys are coming up. They've got Oilers something every
That'll
day.
be great.
That's
Whatever
a 3.
it is.
Yeah, I just
Yep.
told you DOD's coming up next, but that's good.
Whatever it is. Yeah. Oh, and there is Mayday out there.
I'm telling you, that's
Remember,
right
he
now.
told us that story. Ask him
Yeah.
about the practical joke that either he played or had played with the barber.
The barber.
Just that,
Okay.
that the barber shop.
Joke.
Gross. Gross. That'll do it, everybody. Thanks for being a part of it. We're back in, Monday, I guess. We're
Coming to
doing it.
studio, Dean? That's
You're
so
in,
nice to see
you're
you.
in Buffalo. I'm back at home, thank Christ. And you're back in studio. But thanks to Seagram's VO Select taking care of us with the studio here at the Royal York. Had a great week, and have a great weekend, everybody.
Thanks, buddies.
See you, buddies.
My family's very own whiskey, barrel-aged and set apart, marked with VO, artfully blended, impeccably crafted, as a wedding gift to my son, for the bride and groom. And now, over a century later, from our very own family to yours, a legacy rooted in whiskey. Seagram's VO, growing deeper, reaching out, raising a glass to your legacy. Seagram's VO, make it your very own.